happy to be here and happy to contribute, guys. Just sitting in my backyard, just enjoying Jenny and I's first home here in the Phoenix area. And it's a gorgeous morning, and I am ready to rock and roll, guys. Hope you're ready to learn what a six-figure income service layer every single year looks like. For a lot of you guys, $100,000 in CPO in a year for just servicing clients is a huge milestone, and that's an important step that you're looking to take. For other you guys have been consistently doing that, crushing it for years now. So either way, whatever category you're in, this message is for you. I just want to first start off by going to 2016. When I was a rep looking to hit my first 200K year, and I think about that year because that was a big, significant year for my business. I had been doing Cutco for 6 years. I just converted from working full time, selling Cutco part time. I was doing this like 40-hour a week job for 3 years in 14 to 16, basically, and selling Cutco at shows part-time. And I just decided to go all in with Cutco. And what I mean by that is I actually decided to show up to events, show up to conferences, show up to meetings, hire a coach, and all these great things. And what's great about this is I can pinpoint the light bulb moment in 2016 when it all just came in play. Everything came in place, basically. And so I was working a show in Indiana, about 2 hours away from where I grew up in Chicagoland. And I was working a show, and this show hadn't done well for our team for 4 years in a row. Like, we would sell like 10K in 10 days, nothing exciting. Well, I made a decision to show up, memorizing my scripts, working on my approaches, not letting customers walk. I ended up selling 6,000 Monday through Wednesday, the 3 slowest days of the county fair. And people are like, what's going on? And it just hit me. I committed to the business long term. I started painting the vision with my clients, what it's going to be like working with me, what it's going to look like, what it's going to feel like. And I started just working the business. And service was a huge part of that. I started doing more consistent service calls. I started direct scheduling clients from the show right after the show. And I ended up staying 2 more days after the show and sold another couple grand to have, my first 10K week that year in 2016. And fast forward to, this past year, I was able to sell $470,000 in Cutco. And, half of that was just selling on service layers, whether that's service calls, service events, having customers bring their stuff to the booth. And you know what? I share this story for 2 reasons. One is some of you guys are sitting here in this conference thinking, I'm looking for my breakthrough. That's going to be me. I'm looking to make that light bulb moment where everything falls into place and I start growing my business 20 to 50% year after year, just like I did. And some of you guys are crushing it right now and already have what it takes to sell 100,000 plus in service every year. And you're already having 100,000 in income just from servicing clients that you work with. And I challenge you to think about what it is that you're going to implement from this message that's going to really make that a strength even stronger. It's not about perfection, it's about progress. And I hope you guys write that down, because everything that you learn in life is always about progress. It's always about moving forward. And, I just want to thank Dave Bush for a moment, one of the best role models in Cutco that you could ever get influenced by. And we're just so grateful to have Dave Bush in our life as a Cutco world. Just the event analytics, it just allowed me to see how valuable service events were and how valuable service in general has contributed to my overall CPO. Literally in the last 4 years, half of my sales has been directly related to the service channels. I look at my years, just some stats, because numbers don't lie. You're going to see why the service layer is so valuable for a well-rounded business. In 2016, I sold 210,000. My breakout year that year was my first 200K year. 75,000 was on appointments, servicing clients. Did no service events that year. Then I added the service event layer in 2017 and did 47,000 on 13 events and still sold 65K on service calls. So I didn't take away a layer to add a layer. I just added the layer. So I'm not trading CPO for CPO. And in general, I sold 323,000 in 2017, up from 210 the year before. 112,000 of that, almost half of it, was literally on service. Then jumped to 2018, I did 154,000 in service events sales and 45,000 in service call sales, a total of $200,000 in service of my $408,000 a year. And then 2019, last year, I sold literally 222,000 on just service events and still did 23,000 on service calls. So a little bit less than when I started in 2016, really consistently doing service calls. But all in all, 470,000 sold last year, 245,000 was on service. So I know what you guys are thinking. I don't have that many customers. I've never done a service event. I don't want to work that hard. How in the world is that even possible? I don't do service calls. I don't do service. I just have my customers send their knives in. I'm on Netflix right now binging. I'm kidding. But, the point is, no matter what you take from this message, is that service is going to be a pillar and always will be a pillar to your Cutco business years and years from now. And, what percentage of your business, write that down, is service? I think a healthy number is at least 50%. That means you're achieving loyalty long-term with your clients. You're establishing a foundation for raving fans. You're following through on the guarantee on a personal level. In a time of crisis, you're able to take service and even go more deeper into service to strengthen your relationships and have a well-oiled machine. No matter if it's a crisis or not, you're always going to sell your Cutco. And so when I think about the DNA of a service layer that's 6 figures, there's 5 things that come in mind: the lead funnel, the service focus, the service menu that you use, 3, 4, urgency, your call to action, and then your communication channels. And when you think about the first one, your lead funnel, we're talking about traditional events, those of you guys that do that. We're talking about your referrals you get at service events. That's a hidden gem that a lot of reps don't focus on. Those of you guys that do service events, referrals at service events are huge. Making that a priority is important. Past clients, check-in calls, past clients in general, referrals from your service calls. These are all vital funnels that you should have in your business. Those are the active sources of what I call the lead funnel. The goal of this is to think about 1 or 2 that you should be continuing to master, or you should be implementing into your funnel today, yesterday, this year, to make this your breakthrough year. Think about the passive sources that we can generate leads. You have your Facebook. Shout out to Mike Dowd. Last month he literally posted hey, if you don't like your knives, I got a guy. Post. Give you $100 referral of Cutco, and that's a no-brainer to give that to your clients that do that. And he generated instant CPO in a time of crisis from that post. What post are you using on Facebook that can help you be the Cutco guy in your area? Customer generated posts where they tag you every time you sharpen their knife, those are vital to the lead funnel. Those are passive but important. They complement your active sources of getting leads. Your company leads. A lot of you guys are certified or should be certified, but are you getting the company leads? Make sure that you're getting the company lead. Those are instant, easy orders, easy clients to work with. And there's CSPs that I know that aren't getting company leads because they just are lazy and haven't done the certification process. Next door, that's a great resource for getting leads into your funnel passively. When you're at a show, having a sign that says free local sharpening here, and then a sign-in sheet or a lead sheet where they can put their name, number, address, and acknowledging those people when it's busy is a very important thing to keep your funnel going. Don't ignore people that bring in their knives. Don't just push away those people that want factory service and that don't look qualified, because those people matter as well. Number two, the service focus. Where energy flows, it's always where your focus goes. And I said that backwards, but where focus goes, energy flows. And what I mean by that is you always want to have your low hanging fruits to keep your schedule full efficiently. Low hanging fruits are the most productive ways that you can provide service and generate CPO as well. And they require the least amount of effort, but these are vital to keeping your focus consistently throughout the year. And so, what an example of that in my business, thank you, Jason Jeffries, for this, is I always contact those that bought Cutco from me at a show that haven't seen in their house or that I haven't seen at a service event. The last 1 to 3 years of clients that have purchased Cutco at a show, I contact those people and provide service as I promised I'd sharpen your knife type of thing. Every time I call them, text them, or email them, those are the easiest people to schedule. They're the best qualified people because you're not going to sell them everything at the booth for many reasons. It's distractions. There's a lot going on in the show. There's time constraints and stuff like that. So those are money, low-hanging fruits that you should utilize to implement your service layer. Now, having an organization system where you keep track of all your no-shows, all your reschedules, so you don't let those people fall through the cracks. Having a simple spreadsheet, we call it the hot list. Thanks, Josh Mueller, for the hot list strategy. I've been implementing that for the past couple of years for orders and service inquiries, which allows me to not let people fall through the cracks. And it's a great way to just organize people based on areas. A lot of you guys service multiple areas. Well, this is a good way to keep track of when you're going to be in town next and when you're not. And this is important. Don't let those people fall through the cracks. In this past couple of weeks, I've been able to utilize these no-shows to service events as a way to schedule service virtually with them. And what's great about that is they're the easiest people to schedule. So I'm like, hey, it looks like your account's still pending, and I wanted to know if you still needed service. And I know they no-showed the appointment, and I'm not bringing that up. I just wanted to come from a place of, hey, did you get service? I noticed your account's still pending. And those people are so easy because they're like, oh, yeah, it creates an emotion like, oh, shoot, I should probably get service. And it creates an urgency to schedule right then. So making sure that you have low-hanging fruits allows you to maintain a service focus without being exhausting, without taking a much mental energy. I think it takes a lot of work and effort to consistently provide service for your clients. There's no question about that. But having something that's in your arsenal that you can count on every time you want to provide service in a short amount of bursts and be productive doing so, this is a good way to do that. Number two part of service focus is you want to schedule your schedule every time. Every conversation, every communication, whether you're texting, email, on the phone with the client, or in person, make sure you get a time in the schedule, whether it's month in advance, the next day. It's important you schedule your schedule. Never leave a meeting without the meeting booked. It's the same concept. You don't want to have to call them back. It's better to schedule a tentative time versus a callback. That's super important because the busier you get, the more Cutco you're selling, the more important it is to have a schedule that's that far in advance. And what's important about that is it creates urgency for your client. Hey, you needed something in the evening? Okay, great. Well, my next 3 evenings are going to be on the 6th of June, the 19th of June, Which day works better? That one, the Tuesday, and this one, the Thursday. Okay, I have a 5 and a 7. It just creates a professional experience. They know you're busy. They see that you're providing the service. So it just creates more ease of scheduling for you on your part. I think it's important to use resources like Acuity, Google Calendar, so that way you can send email reminders, text reminders for all your appointments. It's very professional. It's like expectation. It allows you to frame the appointment, what's going to happen, the knife inspection, the one-on-one, the going through the new programs and suggestions we have, how to keep the knife sharp longer, and the referrals that we're wanting to know who else we can take advantage of providing the service to. It's also important when you have a true service focus, you always plant the seed with every interaction. What's your famous let go? As your Cutco guy, I will continue to let you know about any local service opportunities that come around in your area. I always let you know when your account's due for service. I'm taking over your file. I'm going to make sure that you get some service consistently for the next years to come. That's my job, and that's why I love doing what I do. I'll be your go-to kitchen guy. I might be your most expensive friend, but I'll be worth every penny. Now, as your Cutco guy, I'll be taking care of your service. So keep an eye on your inbox for your email. Keep an eye on the text I'll send here and there. Keep an eye on my Facebook page when I post tricks and tips on keeping your knives sharp longer and all my sharpening events. You're going to get a ton of value working with me. And that's my job. I am your kitchen guy, your guru for years to come. Remember, I'm here to help you, your family, as well as my your friends and their family as well. So planting the seed is super critical. Number 3 of the DNA of a service layer, 6 figures, service menu. What's great about this crisis, this COVID-19, is it forced us to create this virtual service layer. How awesome is it that we're selling hundreds of $1,000s of Cutco from our laptop? Literally, our office, our home office. Like it's ridiculous. And we're providing, if not better service to these clients by walking them through what their knives look like, what their edges look like, sharpening the knife, valet pickup, drop off. Like we're just being a full concierge service to the world's greatest knives, the world's greatest cutlery, the world's greatest kitchen product. It's amazing. So what are your service menus? Factory service is a menu option that kind of gets put on to the wayside. Oh, yeah, just send your stuff to cutco.com when you're at a show and you're talking to a client. This is an opportunity to lead generate. Okay, this is also an opportunity to establish your credibility as the local service rep for this area that's going to provide that great service. So always make sure you have a strategic plan with how you handle factory service. Are you the type of person that says, hey, yeah, just ship it to Cutco.com and they'll fix it or replace it for you for free? Or are you the type of person that says, hey, yeah, we have a local event where we can have you get your knife shipped back on your behalf for free, and you just cover the shipping there, and we're going to go ahead and get it refurbished, fixed for you for no cost. Just go ahead and jot down your info, name, number, and zip code, and I'll make sure, and your email, of course, and I'll make sure that you get taken care of. I'll be your local rep. I'll take over your account. Or, hey, would you rather be without your knife for a couple of weeks, or would you like to get service locally and we'll ship it in for you? Just make it sexy that you're the person helping them out. 'Cause I'm going to tell you, you get hundreds of clients that get into your marketing, and throughout the course of a decade, they're going to be clients for life of you, and they're going to purchase Cutco gifts from you, and their future needs are going to be met through you versus Cutco itself. Now, with service calls, make sure you choose your strategy. Are you servicing just your top clients? Are you servicing any client? Are you servicing based on when you're in an area and you don't have enough clients for service events, so you just do service call days? Are you doing service call to just company leads? Are you providing service calls as like an overflow for service events? That's what I do. Service calls is a plug and play overflow avenue that I use. If they can't make an event, they can't make a show that I'm at, then I schedule service call days as buffers to do all the overflow. And if someone no shows my service event, then I'll plug them into a service call day. But having a strategy on service is important. You just got to make sure that when you go into a show, a traditional event on the weekend or a county fair or whatever, if you're doing shows, that you always have that strategy in mind. Your communication is going to vary. Um, Service at traditional shows is a huge thing that I implemented this past year. I always put 2 or 3 time slots in the morning of the day that I'm at the booth. It's always slow anyways. You might as well work. People are going to be in a good mood on the weekend. How cool is it to sell a couple grand to start your show? That's a busy show. If you're working a home show from 10 to 5, usually it's not busy that first hour. So if you had a client bring in their stuff at 10 and you're done by 10:45, now you have a walk-up testimonial literally at your booth. You just set up a stool, you sit with them, just normal. It's no big deal. And literally, if there's new customers that come up, they're the easiest people to sell to because you're servicing a client that already loves Cutco, and they're going to tell that client that they need to buy Cutco. And if you frame it right, hey, there might be a few people that come up to the booth that I might have to help out. Is it okay if I ask you a testimonial and share what your experience has been working with me and what Cutco's been? Awesome. And they're like, yeah. Make sure you go ahead and sell to the client. No problem, no problem. I think it's important to work smart and not harder. So if you're already going to work 8 hours at a show, you should be servicing 2 or 3 clients that day. Send a text, an email, phone call. It's just like scheduling any other type of service. There's virtual service, right? That's the new menu that we all added. Whether it's the valet pickup drop-off service or whether it's just the knife inspection. They're both professional services that we'll always have access to that allow us to be very productive in general. So make sure your service menu is updated and make sure you're utilizing all the menu options. Okay, number 4, my time's running out, so I'm going to go through this a little bit fast, but your call to action is super important. When it comes to selling a lot of Cutco through service channels, it's always good to put what Cutco's doing is blank as a way and as an incentive, as a reason to buy Cutco today, right now. So since we're hosting this private event and we're covering all the cost of this event, Cutco has some exclusive programs going and discounts you won't want to miss. Or Cutco has some exclusive discounts that you can take advantage of if you want. And you read the reactions so you can tell how interested they're going to be in the new programs and packages. Hey, since I only do 100 service in-home appointments a year, Cutco has some crazy deals when I come out to the house. And I'll make sure that I cover those in just a minute. Now let's look at your knives. So it's a good seed planter when you're with the client, and then you can leverage that when you're in the closing process. Leveraging ARS tags is also a huge way to sell Cutco. Hey, with your upgrade, working with me, what I'll do, if you go ahead and finish your set, I'll send you an ARS tag so you can actually have a prepaid shipping label, take care of the cost of shipping your original set. We'll get it all refurbished to brand new, the same level as your brand new set. So you're going to have a $3,600 set without paying anywhere near that. And everything's going to be brand new. Your stuff you just ordered and the stuff that we sent in. So I'll go ahead and cover that shipping. And then also utilize the ship back service. Hey, since I'll be your Cutco guy with this order, I'm going to go ahead and have you utilize my ship back service. Just bring in your stuff to the service event. I'll ship it in. You don't even have to make an appointment, and we'll get those all brand new for you. So using promo product as well is a huge leverage. I'm committed to earning your business, and I know how important this upgrade is going to be and how much easier it's going to feel in the kitchen having this. So I'll go ahead and throw in your favorite knife. I have an extra one just because I'm so committed to earning your business, and I know how happy you're going to be having this. When it comes to scheduling, creating urgency, it's important that you mention, hey, there's a new program where you don't have to be without your knife for 2 to 3 weeks. Hey, we have a new local on-the-spot sharpening program that you're going to love. Hey, would you rather be without the knife for 2 to 3 weeks, pay shipping both ways, or would you prefer to get them touched up on the spot locally? What do you prefer? And let them pick. When you're talking to a client, hey, I only have a few evenings this month, so would this date work or this date work? And it just makes it so you're busy. Last but not least, your communication playbook. How many communication channels do you have in your arsenal? Obviously, you have your personal calls. You have your assistant making calls. If you don't, make sure you effectively delegate that, where you show them how to make calls, they watch you, you show them again and they watch you. That is the proper way of it, delegation. It's not like, hey, here, follow a script and good luck. Doesn't work. Then you have your math text. What about the one-on-one text that you send after an order? Share your contact card. Have them save it. Have a funny meme that relates to you working with them and them buying Cutco. Have some sort of cool communication so that you're in their phone. That's way better than a business card. Voice drops, mass emails, one-on-one emails, personal Facebook posts to them, personal message on Facebook, direct mail. These are all channels. How many of those are on in your business? Because the more you provide service, the more avenues that you communicate what you're doing, where you're at, what appointments you're doing, what events you're doing, what traditional events they can bring service, how they can get things repaired, replaced. Instructing them through all these channels is going to be the way you sell 100,000 plus every single year, just providing service. And last but not least, I want to wrap up. What are you missing the boat on? Are you missing the boat on making enough phone calls for your appointment to keep your schedule full? You should have the next 2 to 4 weeks full every month. That's when you know you're running your business properly. You don't have enough leads. Well, you need to get better at your referral approach. You need to do more shows. You need to do more lead generating activity. How organized are you with your leads? Do you know who rescheduled and no showed for the last year? Are you able to get those people on a list and easy schedule those people? Who's requested service but you haven't followed up with because you're not going to be in their area for 2 months? Like, are those people falling through the cracks? Are you consistently asking for referrals? If not, why aren't you? Those are the best, most profitable leads you'll ever have in your business. Those are the best clients too. They're raving fans. They get more referrals because they've been referred. It's easy as an event rep to not ask for referrals. And is your schedule reactive or proactive? Every time you get time off your schedule, do you have the week full after you come back? When you go on the company trip, is your next week after that full, ready to just show up and sell a lot of Cutco, or are you just, trying to do catch up and start the momentum again? You, the CSP that has a good service layer, but you just do the same strategy every year after year. Change it up. Try one thing from this message, and I guarantee you'll have a breath of fresh air, simply because service is the lifelong blood of this business, and it's the lifelong blood of this loyalty that we're after. And the last tip I'll give to you guys is that if you're not if you're doing service events, schedule them in high traffic venues such as a marketplace, a gun show, a mall, a restaurant that already has people in it. Change the number you're calling from, not just using your personal cell phone. Use Google Voice. Set up a free account so you can have a local number that's different and allows you to get in contact with more people. My challenge for you is to pivot one strategy from this message into your business today and see what happens. Thank you guys so much for your time. I'm really excited to hear how you guys use this information. And just keep in mind that if you need any help, my name is Adam Conroy, and you can call me anytime, 847-691-7367, and I'll be happy to help you out. What? What happened to my recording?